Welcome to WatchNut TV and another edition of What's in the Box. Or in this particular instance, we should call it What's in the Case. This is a Panerai piece that was recently returned from a complete service in the Fort Worth Center. And this is the typical case they return a service watch from. So it's a really interesting watch, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. I've had a couple of people ask me to do a review on this piece, so I thought I'd go ahead and do it. So let's see what's in the case. This is one that you will not see very often come to market. They're very rare to find in the aftermarket, and there weren't that many of them made to begin with. But this is a Panerai Luminor North Pole GMT, aka PAM252. This particular series of 500 was made in the 2006-07 production year to commemorate Mike Horn and Borg Ausland's trek from the Siberian Islands to the North Pole in the dark of winter, which was really quite an expedition when you think about it, especially when it was done on foot. There have been a total of 3 Horn expedition watches. Horn is an ambassador for Panerai, as you may well know. There were 2 previous editions of the Arctos series that were done. One is a 12-hour movement and one was a GMT movement, but they both had black dials. This particular series is the only one that's ever been done with this dark blue dial, and it's a very unique dark blue. It's different than kind of most things you'll ever see. If you go to my website, you can kind of see what it looks like with the studio lights on it. It appears lighter blue in my photographs, kind of like it would look in the sunlight. This watch uses the Panerai OP8 automatic GMT movement, which is a base value 7750, of course. It's in a 44 millimeter by 19 millimeter thick case, and you can kind of see, if you look at it, the dome of the case back protruding much more markedly than in most Panerai pieces. That's because this watch has a anti-magnetic soft iron lining to protect it from the magnetism that is ever constant in the polar regions. And incidentally, they also used a fairly special lubricant on this watch that was designed to withstand very cold temperatures. Looking a little further, we can see a case back that is embellished quite a bit. It has a small representation of the map between Russia and the North Pole, and the signatures of both men, again, just as a commemorative. The GMT movement is kind of the pretty stock OP8. There's obviously a 24-hour hand, a date at 3 o'clock, and the standard subseconds. The unique thing about this watch is probably the bezel. If you're not familiar with this type of a bezel, it features a compass cardinal numbers. But as a quick way to kind of determine your position relative to the compass, if you point the hour hand at its current position towards the sun, and then set the south indicator on the bezel to a point relatively halfway between the hour hand and the 12 o'clock marker, you basically have your directions on the compass rose. Kind of a quick way to estimate where you are. I'm not sure to a great extent what that would have helped Mr. Horn, since they did this particular expedition in the dead of winter when it was dark for 24 hours a day. But it is kind of a neat feature nonetheless, and makes it unique from a standard timing bezel. If you're kind of interested in seeing what the dial looks like in the sun, you can go to my website and take a look at the Panerai watches for sale page, and this is featured up at the top. And if you look at it, look at the photos I've done there, you can see it appears a little bit brighter blue like it would in the sunlight. But all in all, a very unique piece, and certainly the most unique thing is that Panerai's never done a dark blue dial like this on any other watch they've ever made. So it is unique in that context. So this watch is for sale at watchnut.com. It may in fact already be sold, but at the time I speak, it's still for sale. So if you're interested, go have a look, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Thank you very much.